Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fallout Civilization 5 Deathmatch series. In the last episode, quite a bit has happened actually. We have seen the fall of the Brotherhood of Steel. Most unfortunately, of course, this was the civilization that I was cheering for the entire time, but they have been destroyed. I mean, I think Hidden Valley is just the beginning. I have a feeling that Capital Wastelands, Bullhead City, and Cottonwood Cove are going to be their next targets, and of course, I believe they also have a city over here somewhere. Yeah, Salambria over here on this lake. I believe one of my subscribers actually told me the name of this lake, but the name is forgetting me, so we're going to call it Hoover Dam Lake again, much to the chagrin of the subscriber that gave me the actual correct name. I do apologize, I forgot. Take a look at this, guys. Last episode, quite a bit has happened, actually, besides the fall of the Brotherhood of Steel. You can see that the Enclave is in full force. We see a massive, massive amount of troops over here. A lot of paratroopers. I mean, a lot of XCOM squads. I mean, the Enclave is by and large the most advanced civilization in the game right now. Unfortunately, for anybody else who is rooting for anybody else besides the Enclave, more than likely they will conquer the entire map. I think that's probably a pretty accurate description considering their score is by and large just massive. I mean, it's even triple the score almost of the NCR and the Brotherhood of Steel. Of course, the NCR also having their own host of problems. In the last episode, the not the Brotherhood of Steel, the Legion, the Caesar's Legion to be more precise, has declared war on the new California Republic, and the NCR, much to the much to the disappointment of the people that are supporting the NCR, has been nuked like 6 or 7 times actually. In fact, their capital city, Hoover Dam, has been nuked. The Shady Sands has been nuked. Anclave has been nuked, and so has Novak. Oh yeah, Novak has been nuked as well. So they are in for a bit of a rough ride this episode. In fact, I believe more than likely that the Caesar's Legion should be able to take out their capital and the rest of their cities, and then the rest of the world will be divided up between the Enclave and the Caesar's Legion before a final and decisive battle. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and end the turn and see where this turn takes us. Of course, I will be flying around and checking out the most interesting of battles. Of course, right now, the most interesting battle is between the Caesar's Legion and the NCR. Of course, we see that the Caesar's Legion has access to giant death robots. They're a bit, ahead, I should say, in technology as compared to the NCR, who is a bit behind, considering they've lost almost all of their scientists and population centers due to the nuclear explosions. You know, there's nothing scarier than a man running at you with a sword and a kilt, except for a man that also has nuclear weapons. So the Caesar's Legion, very scary. Don't let their appearance as Roman soldiers fool you. They are packing nuclear weapons. They are packing giant death mechs. I mean, they are going to be probably the counterbalance to the Enclave, more than likely, if the Enclave doesn't just flat out annex the entire map. So, with that being said, the Enclave is making a move on Bullhead City in Cottonwood Cove, for some reason completely ignoring the Capital Wasteland, due probably to the fact that it's surrounded by desert. And, here we go, signing desert. Yeah, we don't really care. We're just going to commit. Yep. Thanks to one of my subscribers, I found out that you don't need to vote at all. You can just kind of ignore it. Right. So, Good Springs has declared war on several civilizations. I was going to say Good Wings. That's really not quite what it's called now, is it? So, we're going to actually go ahead and turn on the auto end turn thing. And, again, we're just going to... Okay, we can't... Whatever, we're just going to do that. Who gives a fuck? Right. Options. Single player auto end turn. Let's go ahead and do that. It looks like the Enclave is on the move, taking out Novak already. They've already closed the gap between the NCR and the Enclave. They are ready to start annexing some cities. Of course, Novak will be the first to fall. In Fallout New Vegas, of course, Novak was the city with a gigantic, like T-Rex looking statue that you can snipe from. Very, very interesting. Of course, in this particular one, in this particular series, it's just a bit of a useless city surrounded by desert that is going to be continuously annexed by the various empires that are fighting for control over the fringes of the territory. I do apologize for the map kind of getting wonky over there. But as you can see, the Enclave is on the move and heading towards the NCR. The NCR is in a bit of a jam as they are being flanked on both sides. I believe the fall of Hoover Dam is imminent. I just hope that the Caesar's Legion gets a bit more land than the Enclave does, because even though I do not like the Caesar's Legion, my dislike for the Enclave is a bit greater, to be fair. So it seems like the Enclave is just going to prey on the pickings of whatever the Caesar's Legion doesn't pick up. Of course, Caesar's Legion has nuked several cities belonging to the NCR, but it looks like the Brotherhood of Steel just like that of a condor, or more accurately, I guess, of a... God, what is that thing called? It's like a bird that eats dead things. Jesus Christ, I can't remember the name, but it's a bottom feeder. That's all you guys need to know. You know, the Enclave is bottom feeding off of the NCR territories. What should belong to the Caesar's Legion is now in control of the Enclave. And this series is almost over. I mean, let's be honest, this series is almost over. We're only on the 4th episode, but I mean, we already know who's going to win and who's going to lose at this point in time, most unfortunately. Klamath, that belonged to Caesar, has been recaptured by Caesar's Legion, or rather by the NCR. How long it lasts, probably like one more turn. The NCR is getting really screwed up really fast. But miraculously, Hoover Dam is still in the hands of the NCR, who have pumped out the city to a massive 163 defense. And of course, Klamath has been recaptured by the Caesar's Legion. Let's go look over here. The Brotherhood of Steel, Capital Wasteland, still independent, as is Bullhead City and Cottonwood Cove. And the Brotherhood of Steel actually has XCOM squads as well, but they don't have nearly as much as their arch nemesis, the Enclave, does. Let's go back over here to the south, where it looks like the Hoover Dam and Sacktown have been taken by the Caesar's Legion in a very decisive slap, I guess, across the face to the NCR. Of course, the NCR now is being, pried apart like a carcass. We got, on one side, a sword from the Caesar's Legion. On the other side, we got, like, I don't know, some vertebrates raining down hell on the western part of the NCR. Of course, we do have another city that belongs to the Brotherhood of Steel that is still nominally independent from the Enclave, Solumbria. We will see how long it takes for them to be annexed. But right now, I'm venturing to guess that it won't be very long at all before the Enclave declares war on the Caesar's Legion. I certainly hope that the Caesar's Legion is able to take Shady Sands, but it looks like the Enclave is making a move on it. So we're going to assign delegates. Just joking, we're not going to at all. Right, next turn it is. Of course, Boneyard, the western... Ooh, look at that. Shady Sands has been captured by Caesar's Legion. They've got quite a bit of control surrounding the Hoover Dam, exception of Alzabo, and the Enclave has taken the city of Boneyard, and they're moving on to the 188 trading post, which used to, I guess, be a city situated along the side of a highway. But not anymore, but used to be. So here we go. Good Springs and NCR are no longer allies. Of course, that's not really a surprise to anybody. Anybody who is who's got any sort of intelligence about them would probably de-ally the NCR as they fall from grace. Let's go back up here where my screen is completely filled with units. This is insane. I think that literally everybody in the wasteland that's still alive is marching to the tune of the Enclave now. Really bit of a shame. You'd think that more people would, rise against the oppressive North Korean, totalitarian system of government that the Enclave is seeking to reestablish over the wasteland. Of course, they view themselves as the, the continuation of the United States government, but, they aren't, let's be honest. So, again, making a proposal, we're gonna, ban salt. Fuck that. In the next turn. Let's see what the Caesar's Legion does. Whoa, camera's going crazy. The fight for 188 trading post is in effect. Of course, is this indeed the last city that belongs to the NCR, and it's about to be annexed in about one turn. We will see just how hard the Enclave hits it. And after the Enclave takes out the trading post, I believe they'll probably be switching their attention to either the Caesar's Legion or to finishing the Brotherhood of Steel. In fact, they might have made peace with the Brotherhood of Steel. And it looks like they have. They're starting to trade with the Brotherhood of Steel. Very interesting. If I was them, of course, I would have just finished it off and just destroyed them. But here we go. We got 3 factions left in the game. Let's go ahead and stop the auto-end turn thing from happening again, just so we can kind of look around the map. So, 3 remaining civilizations out of 5. Of course, New Vegas was wiped out in the very first episode. But we got a lot going on here. We got a very sprawling enclave that's spread across the entire map. We've got several cities that are dotted around the map that belong to the Brotherhood of Steel, somewhat accurately, as there are separate Brotherhood chapters that spread across the ruins of North America. Or rather, the wasteland of North America, I should say. So, We got Bullhead City, Cottonwood Cove, Capital Wasteland, and Columbria that all belong to Brotherhood of Steel. And the Brotherhood of Steel is technologically advanced. We are starting to see that they are hiring some XCOM squads, some, mechanized infantry. If they were able to have the economy to support a large army, they might be able to throw off the reins of the Enclave in Hidden Valley and Aragorn, but I don't think it's going to happen. Let's go over here to the east to take a look at the Caesar's Legion. Caesar's Legion is in a very similar situation to the Enclave in as far as that they have access to all of the advanced technologies that the Enclave does. However, that being said, the similarities end right there, considering they do not have nearly the same amount of military industrial capacity as the Enclave. They lack the spamming of the units that the Enclave has. So let's go ahead and turn back on the auto interns and see what happens in this episode. My guess is that the Enclave will wipe out both of the civilizations in this episode, but maybe not. Here we go, just like clockwork. Brotherhood of Steel and the Caesar's Legion are now at war with the Enclave, and the Enclave is about to fuck shit up. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to get pretty bad. Oh, rather, no, sorry. The Enclave is actually not at war with Caesar's Legion. Caesar's Legion has declared war on the Enclave. On the Brotherhood of Steel. So, we're about to see just how long the Brotherhood of Steel is able to, withstand this massive offensive. I believe that it probably won't be very long. It'll probably take about 2 turns. And Columbria is almost fallen, just like clockwork once again. Let's go back over here to the south. Newton is requesting units, and so is the Den. Looks like anybody who's allied with the Brotherhood of Steel is about to follow pretty soon. Follow suit. Bullhead City, more than likely following this turn, as is Columbria on the coast. Let's see what happens. So Columbria has been taken out over here on the coast. The Caesar's Legion was too slow to draw. Take back the city. Let's go back over here to the south. Looks like the Capital Wasteland and Bullhead City are both going to fall here in a minute. As I drink my water here. I'm actually a lot better now. I'm no longer sick, so you guys should be able to get a lot more of these videos out here without me like sniffling and coughing and all that. It was a bit annoying, but it is what it is. I had to do what I had to do, So anyways, Bullhead City has been captured by the Enclave, and Capital Wasteland is going to follow suit here in a minute. Let's see what the Caesar's Legion is doing. Are they making a move on anything? Doesn't look like it, actually, at the time being. Let's go here to the west, where the Enclave has settled the city of Kanajarahi, I believe is how you say it. Very interesting. And the Capital Wasteland has fallen to the Enclave. The last Brotherhood of Steel chapter lies in the Cottonwood Cove, and it's about to be straight up annexed by the Enclave. Of course, the Enclave setting up these puppet governments in the cities they capture. Not really sure what that entails to the Brotherhood of Steel. I guess they pretend that the Brotherhood of Steel is autonomous, but in actuality, they march to the tune of the robotic president. Going over here to the east, looks like the Brotherhood of Steel has been completely wiped out. Which, no surprise, really. I mean, I think that they are more than likely entirely, destroyed. And now, really, it's just going to be the fight for the Hoover Dam, as more than likely the Enclave will declare war on the Caesar's Legion here in a minute. I know everybody who's supporting the Caesar's Legion is probably silently praying that the Caesar's Legion starts spitting out more units. But I guess the good news is, for all of my fans that are supporting the Caesar's Legion, you do have 2 other cities up here in the north of the peninsula over here, which is nice. I believe even Bitter Springs is an ally. No, maybe not. So here we go. In terms of the naval control for the lake, the Enclave has a very decisive amount of ships, including nuclear submarines, nuclear missiles. They've got like I don't know, like maybe 56 nuclear missiles. I think that the Caesar's Legion is going to have a bit of a problem going up against these assholes. Let's go ahead and commit our delegates to nothing. And looks like, so Dick Richardson's still in the game, so is Caesar. Let's see what happens. Enclave biding their time, of course, selling more cities. The city of Blank, which is a very nice looking city, over here to the west. Looks like they finally ran out of names, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Let's go ahead and see what it's looking like in the Enclave homeland, where, there's more soldiers than there are citizens. I have the impression. Bit of a sad sight, really. to see all this hardcore industry. They probably even lack toilet paper, considering all the workers are being sent to make tanks. But, you know, it is what it is. Sooner rather than later, I'm sure that this, you know, totalitarian regime will spread across the entire North American continent. We will see how long that takes. So I'm just going to keep my camera here for the time being. Just so we can kind of see the development of the Caesar's Legion. More than likely in preparation for the assault on their home territory. Of course, the territory that they have yanked from the NCR. Why don't we go ahead and pull up the happiness rating that we always do here. I believe it's in the cultural overview. Let's go to cultural victory. Caesar's Legion's unhappy, but the Enclave is really happy, because the more people they annex, the more people they can, you know, cannibalize and, you know, send off to the robotic leader. They're really happy, let's be honest here. Influence, yep, the Enclave's got tourism. I don't know why anybody would ever want to go to the Enclave territory to visit, but I guess it is what it is. They've just completed the Louvre, which is a bit interesting. I didn't think that the Enclave really had any appreciation for art, but, you know, you learn something new every day, I guess. There we go. We got an entire onslaught of blank-looking cities. And just like the Borg from Star Trek, I think that these guys are just kind of like a hive mind at this point. They don't even need to name their cities. They just dot them across the map, as the happiness will soon follow. I think that much like, God, what was that quote? The opiate of the masses. I believe that's Vladimir Lenin. I believe that the Enclave has got some problems in their water supply. More than likely, it's some type of soma or something that's controlling the thoughts and feelings of the entire population that belongs to the Enclave. And why don't we go and look at the demographics while we stick around and wait in time here. Looks like the Enclave's got 53 million people in the Mojave, in the wasteland here, and I think that's Mojave, not Mojave. Well, it's a bit ridiculous actually if you think about it, because you know, Las Vegas, Nevada, nowhere near 53 million people. New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, nowhere near 53 million people. But I guess they've got people, you know, in cloning vats, and they've got people, you know, wired up to energy posts. I have a feeling that this is somewhat reminiscent of a certain Matrix movie, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how they're breeding people so fast and prolifically, but they are. Let's go take a look at the rest of their empire while they stick around and wait for the inevitable war. We got the city of Bristol, which I believe belongs to Britain, in the middle of nowhere, as we've got several other cities with no names. Is there any other area to settle? Because I'm sure more than likely these spots will be filled by the Enclave once we get around to it. Let's go ahead and commit our delegates. Nobody really cares about us. I mean, we've got a nuclear submarine and an ice floe in the desert. And yes, before you ask me, there is ice in the desert. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I'm going to make a proposal, and what I mean by that is we're going to embargo city-states, fuck them, in the next turn. And as far as nuclear missiles are concerned, I believe the Caesar's Legion has access to them as well. It is not just a one-way street here. Although I am at a disadvantage as to finding where they are. We've got 1 and 2 up here in the northern cities of Apeldoorn and Tenerife. But nowhere near like the 67, you know, 78,000 nuclear missiles that the Enclave has pointing in the direction. A glorious war is about to envelop both sides. More than likely it's going to happen here in a minute, as we step into the future. Here we go. Shady Sands has got stealth bombers, guided missiles, and jet fighters. Super Dam has got stealth bombers and guided missiles as well. Of course, guided missiles being the poor man's version of the nuclear missile that the Enclave has in abundance. Let's see if they've made any other cities over here. Got the Mumbles and Prim. And of course, Tex Key's city name, Nema, that you can't forget about. Let's go back over here. Denver, of course, normally in Colorado. It's the middle of the Mojave Wastelands. And Jesus Christ, they have so many. Let's see how many soldiers they've got. This is like a indicator of their relative power here. They've got almost 4 million soldiers. You'd think that they'd have, you know, 58 million soldiers and 4 million civilians, but I guess the computer calculates it a bit differently here. It looks like they got a lot more than just a few million soldiers here. But anyways, that is what it is. Let's go and take out the diplomatic, I guess, relations of these city-states that are around the wasteland. I think most of them are probably going to be allied with nobody or the Enclave. Bit of a neutral jam they've got themselves into. Playing the part of Sweden, it would seem. Let's go and see what Prim is looking like. Nothing for the time being. And I apologize, it's a bit boring now that there is no battle going on, but, you know, you guys are more than welcome to skip ahead like 5 minutes until I'm sure nuclear wastes envelop both sides. Looks like, for the time being, the Enclave has stopped colonizing. Oh, wait, no, I'm joking. They got another blank city over here. And it looks like the Caesar's Legion have settled another city, the city of Lexen. And it looks like they are sending out another settler up in the north somewhere. I have no idea where. Maybe there's some plains. No, it doesn't look like it. Got a settler just chilling around over here. It looks like you can make farms in the desert. Go figure. I had no idea. Of course, over here it almost looks like on the minimap that we've got a city to the very far west, but it's just Salt Lake City, a city of Mormons, who, you know, probably follow some sort of paganistic religion now that Caesar's Legion has taken over. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe Caesar's Legion, the people there follow some kind of, like, watered-down version of, like, Roman mythology, I think. Maybe with more of an emphasis on the cult of personality that follows around Caesar, but I could be wrong. Somehow, Brotherhood is still enacting policies. They must have a unit somewhere that hasn't died quite yet. God knows where. I'm surprised they haven't taken out any more city-states, like the Nelson Air Force Base, for example, belongs to the Boomers. And speaking of the Boomers, I wish I could find a Boomer civilization to put in this particular game, but I couldn't even find a, you know, Great Khan's civilization either, so we've got a serious lack of Fallout civilizations. These are the only 5 I could find. And as New Vegas was part of it, you know, and in Caesar's Legion as well, I figured, you know, why not just go with Mojave Wasteland? Considering if I did, you know, the Capital Wasteland, there'd only be three factions. There'd be the Enclave, the Brotherhood Steel, and that's about it. You know, maybe a few more. Maybe you could probably fit the I don't know, ghouls in there somewhere. Not really quite sure. We see a new city, the city of Merbid, from the Caesar's Legion. Nothing too interesting about that. Of course, a lot of archaeologists setting about digging up those nuclear artifacts. The International Space Station was completed. Looks like Dick Richardson completed it. Yep, no surprise there. Go and close it out. So I believe the Enclave has, you know, I'm pretty sure that was like a space victory, or maybe it actually wasn't. But we're starting to see some more English-named cities for some reason, considering the Enclave is, of course, continuation of America. You would have no idea why there would be cities named Gloucestershire and Portsmouth, but there is, including the city of Bristol, which actually has some of my favorite musicians. You know, Bristol is an interesting city. I'm just going to talk bullshit right now because, you know, let's face it, there's nothing else that's going on in this game. Bristol is a cool city in Britain because it was kind of a cultural melting pot, for lack of a better word. Of course, the triangle trade, slavery that occurred between Britain and Africa, and indeed the rest of the European continent throughout, you know, the late, you know, Renaissance, kind of like early modern period. It changed Bristol, actually, culturally speaking, in a few different ways. Of course, Bristol has a very large African cultural imprint on it. It's a very interesting city. It's one of the birthplaces, actually, of English trip hop, which is a very kind of interesting musical movement that combines hip hop, you know, like American hip hop, for example, with electronic music, which is a very interesting mixture. In fact, you guys might have heard of some famous trip hop bands, including, you know, say Massive Attack, Portishead, and you know, Gorillaz, of course, most famous. But yeah, very interesting city. I recommend anybody who is, you know, in Europe to check out Bristol. Very cool city. Again, I'm just talking bullshit. As this, you know, I'm not really too familiar with the Fallout lore and Fallout mythology, as my subscribers have noted in the comments below. I don't really know everything there is to know about this you know, video game universe. But I am definitely going to get Fallout 4, and I'm really not quite sure if I'm going to do any Fallout 4 videos because, let's face it, you know, commentating the entire time and editing videos and having to wait for the renders, you know, that's no fun. You know, when Fallout 4 comes out, I'm sure you guys will agree with me. You just want to play the game and kind of get a good feel for it. And, you know, I don't want to be in a rush releasing Fallout 4 videos and LPs. And, of course, not only that, but it would interfere with the rest of my schedule, you know, with work, school, and you know, my other uploads. So I think I probably won't release any Fallout 4 videos until like a month or two after the game comes out. That way I can do it on my second playthrough, kind of do something funny, maybe make like a Chuck Norris character and work on my unarmed skill and never use a weapon. I don't know, some type of interesting challenge. But I hope you guys are as pumped up for Fallout 4 as I am. I'm really, really excited for it. November can't come soon enough. We, of course, see another Enclave city in the middle of nowhere. They are spreading like a cancer across the world. And they for some reason, still have yet to attack the Caesar's Legion, which is good for them, because our episode's almost over. This episode, rather. In fact, the alarm has just sounded. So stay tuned for the next episode, where I believe more than likely there will be war between the two sides. And, you know, I don't know, there's that quote where it's like, I know not what World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, and that's pretty indicative of the situation that we've got on the ground here. Of course, we have nuclear missiles pointed at both sides. Of course, the majority of them belong to the Enclave that are pointing to the east. But, again, it remains to be seen who wins. I mean, I think most of us can agree that the Enclave is going to really fuck some shit up seriously, but, you know, who knows? Let's go ahead and do that. Why the fuck not? And hit the next turn. Let's go ahead and turn off the auto-in turns. And we'll take a look at the demographic screen once again before we end the game. Here in a minute. Give it 1 second. Another thing from Bristol is the urban artist Banksy. Check him out. He's really, really cool. I forgot to mention him. Really, really cool graffiti art. I think he prefers the name street art, but it's still really interesting. Here, demographics. We've got the lead in literacy is actually the Caesar's Legion, surprisingly enough. And everything else belongs to the Enclave, of course. They've got almost 70 million people in the Mojave Wasteland. I have no idea how, but they do. And of course, they lead the way in soldiers as well. Everything else belongs as well to the Enclave. There must be some type of drug in their water system because they got 96% approval and the most totalitarian state on this particular stretch of North American wastelands. We're going to go back and check out the cultural overview, see what's going on. We got some happiness now in the Caesar's Legion, but not nearly as much as the happiness of the Enclave, who is just going full ahead with their happiness. They are incredibly happy. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next episode. It'll be out really soon. And once again, guys, take care.